about why do people get into debt. So people get into debt for various reasons, okay? And this could just be because of their financial goals, or maybe unexpected events that happen to people, or even poor financial management. So with all this, we should dive into most of the reasons, or majority of the reasons, why people end up in debt. So the first reason is going to be achieving major life goals, okay? People have different goals in life, and one of under this life goals, some people might want to have a good education, right? But they do not have the funds to take this educational courses, so they have to end up borrowing and end up with what is called student loan. So if you want to have a higher education, you don't have the means, and you're thinking, where do I can I yes, you can borrow. You can go out there and borrow student loans and get yourself the education you really want. Under the same achieving major goals, we talk about people wanting to start a business or even expand their business, okay? And people equally wanting to own a home. So those could be some goals for somebody, and if you want to achieve it and you don't have the means, can you borrow money now and pay later? Yeah, it's possible. So that is one of the reasons why people might get in debt. The second one is covering emergencies. So when we talk about emergencies could come as medical bills, right? Someone unexpectedly gets sick and you do not have the money to cover it at that moment. Yeah, it's a possibility that you have to borrow to be able to get well, so that you can get back on your feet and then make the money and pay back at a later date. People can equally lose their jobs. So if somebody has a job loss, that's another reason why they could end up having to borrow. Borrowing really doesn't mean you have to borrow at that moment. You could have already had a credit card, maybe you just weren't using it as often, but if you lost your job, then you might have to end up having to swipe your credit card for your day-to-day expenses, okay? And that is equally still part of borrowing, just to be able to meet your daily needs. All right, so yeah, emergencies happen, so don't feel bad if you end up having to borrow and be in debt just because of some emergencies. The third one is going to be insufficient saving. A lot of things are getting more expensive, okay? Housing, food, clothing, mostly basic necessities of life is getting more costly, and the paycheck is really not increasing. All right, so it's not increasing as fast as other things are increasing, so people really don't have a lot of savings nowadays, okay? So if you find yourself in that situation, you don't have to feel ashamed about it. You don't have to be, you just have to figure out how to work hard and earn more money. But if you don't have a lot of savings and now you have to end up having to use your credit cards or even borrow some personal loans just to cover up major purchases, I mean, you just have to figure out how to pay it back, okay? Make sure when you borrow this money, just pay on time, all right? Okay, so yeah. Number 4 is going to be lifestyle choices. This is the one I really don't like to talk about, but we have to, because some people get in debt not because they were in need. You know, this is not a need matter. They don't need it. They just borrow because they are trying to live a life that is really not up to their pockets. What I mean is, you borrow money for vacation, for luxury good, for dining out, which you really don't need. I mean, if you want to go dine out, let's say you want to go dine out and you have your cash, that's fine. If you have to go dine out and you have to put everything on your credit card, that's not fine, because you're dining out now, you have to pay and then you pay interest. I mean, do you really need it? That's the thing. Do you? Because most of those things are called discretionary items. It's at your discretion. You can choose not to, but some people choose to, and now they end up in debts. Okay, so this for these lifestyle choices, if you really are not in need and you really know that you can do without, why not do without it? And then maybe at the future day you can take these vacations when you have the money. The other thing is called impulse purchases. Buy now, pay later, or buy now because you just saw it, you did not budget for it. Let's take for example, you saw something or you need something, okay, and you haven't budgeted to buy that item, and then somehow it shows up on your phone, and these people like to follow, I don't know how they follow us up to know what we want, but however, you just see an advert on your phone and it says it's on sale or it has a discount. You knew you needed to, I mean, you might need it. Sometimes this thing is, you use it one time, you don't even use it as everyday thing, okay, and now you just hurriedly go swipe your credit card and buy that thing. Remember, you're paying for that item plus the interest, because you're going to pay, you didn't budget for it, so you clearly don't have the money at the time to buy it. Okay, if you have the money, that's fine. We're talking about you don't have the money, so you're borrowing. All right, so imagine now you go do impulse buying and then you end up having to pay that plus the interest at a later date, and it's going to cost you more. So instead of trying to do that, why not just wait, budget, and then get it when you finally have the funds to get it done. So please, when it comes to lifestyle choices, we really need to work on it, especially people that like to do impulse buying, which is not even necessary. Okay, and the last one for this video is going to be lack of financial literacy. And when we talk about lack of financial literacy, it's just you not knowing or misusing, mismanaging, or even not even understanding how this works. Remember, when you borrow money, there's a cost you pay, and the cost of it is what is called the interest, because you have to pay to get it. So imagine you mismanage, you have a poor budgeting skills, you don't even know how to budget, and you do not even understand what it costs for you to borrow it. All right, so you end up paying. Sometimes people don't even read their credit card statements because they don't even know how much interest they're paying on credit card. So if you go ahead and read how much interest you're paying for those credit cards you're swiping, you might not even want to make those payments or make those purchases, because it mostly comes with a high interest rate. So if you know that you can wait now, budget for later, it's gonna be something very good. Okay, so please make sure you read your credit card statements, read to know how much you're gonna be paying as interest, read to know if I miss a payment, what is the maximum interest they can put my credit on, because there's an interest rate. Your interest rate might likely change if you miss a payment consistently. Okay, and what happens if I end up even doing cash advances? What is going to be my interest rate on it? So read those, your financial statements. So it's very important. Read it. So make sure you read it, and please, if you don't know how to budget, work on it. I'm sure I have some videos on budgeting, if I remember correctly. If not, I can make videos on budgeting. Okay, and please do not over rely on your credit card if you don't have to. If you have other means to do your day-to-day activities rather than relying on credit card, is very good. If you know that you can do without credit cards, do without credit card just simply means you use the credit card once in a while, not like an everyday thing. Okay, please do not misuse your credit cards. And if you have a means of not taking payday loans, please don't take them. All right, because this can cause you more harm than good. Okay, so this takes us to the end of this video, and this is going to be part 1 of why people get into debt. Okay, I'm going to be talking about other points on the next video, which is going to be our part 2 for why people get into debt. So please do your research, read some of these things, study budgeting. Okay, study budgeting, study your credit card statements. As I said, educate yourself on what you borrow, and don't forget to even read these loan terms. All right, so it's very important for you to know before you go out there to borrow. Do your research as always. Remember, my videos are always for educational purpose only. Please research and study on your own, and even seek for financial advice if you need it. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and to comment on my videos. As always, thank you and stay safe until next time.